Hi, I am back again. Good evening. I hope that you've had a beautiful day. So, I am continuing my series. As I said yesterday, we talked about planning and time, and today we are looking at how I started exploring digital income without the professional guilt. Because that's, let's face it, so many people feel guilty, and the honest truth is that you shouldn't. So I understand that time control was a very sensitive topic because many people are struggling in that area. But I believe that until we begin to face these things, we wouldn't be able to get the clarity that we need. Sometimes change is difficult, but it is necessary, right? So just 1 minute, let me just try to kind of like share my this live to um, my stories, share so that people can join. It is necessary, right? So just 1 minute, let me just try to kind of like share my, and we wouldn't be able to get the clarity that we need. Sometimes change is difficult, but it is necessary, right? So just 1 minute, let me just try to kind of like share my this live to. Okay, sorry. I will be with you shortly. Yeah. Oh, am I not typing it correctly? That's and righty ho, that is being shared now. So hopefully people can join and it will be of value to them. So yes, today I am going to be looking at how I started exploring digital income without the professional guild. I acknowledge that yesterday was a difficult day, and um I mean, it was difficult when I started to explore it, to be honest. Even myself, I found some of these things difficult, but I mean, it is what it is. In order to identify myself and in order to figure out who I am and what I really want, you kind of like have to go through some changes. So, um, today we are going to face the guilt that stops us from achieving our goals, or achieving what we are, achieving whatever it is, whatever it means to you. And I'd like to identify or discuss very briefly some of the things that actually stop us. One of the things that I know that really stops us from exploring things outside of our day job is the sacrifice or reward trap. Okay. Um, and I do know it exists. Success was usually, or for many years for you and for myself as well, it was a trade-off. Sacrifice time for money. That is how we defined success. The more time you sacrifice, the more money you get. Now that you have money, society would then expect you to be grateful and keep quiet. And I don't know if you've ever heard um of the saying, they call it more money, more problem, or people don't really get satisfaction or happiness from having more money. In fact, there are some people that have enough money, but they don't actually have the time to spend it. But the society wouldn't want to hear from you simply because they believe you have money and you should be happy, right? And that is a sacrifice which shouldn't really be. You shouldn't really be experiencing that kind of you shouldn't really be making that sacrifice because um you should be happy, even, and you should have money. They are both, I think they are mutually exclusive. Any analyst, you understand what I mean. So that is one of the reasons why sometimes people just sit down with what is the norm. Do what you have to do and be grateful, even if it robs you of who you are. The other thing that I know from my experience is the lie of ingratitude. So people believe that um, wanting more freedom or time or control is ingratitude. And the honest truth is, it is not. There is absolutely nothing wrong in wanting more freedom, wanting more time or control. It is just a sign that you have grown beyond where you are currently. Okay. So one would see it as, the world, the society would see it as ingratitude, because why do you want more time? Why do you want more money? You have everything. Oh, sorry, why do you want more time? Why do you want more freedom? You're working very well. You are successful. You are now the CEO. You are XYZ. I've seen people that are you in in the eyes of the world. They are made, but deep down within them, they are very, very unhappy because they've had to make that trade, which I talked about earlier. They've had to sacrifice, time. So they make all that money and yet they have no time to spend the money they make, right? So it's not really, wanting more time is not ingratitude. Wanting more freedom is not ingratitude. It's just a sign that you're growing and you've outgrown where you currently are, okay? And you haven't failed. You have simply reached the limit of what a time for money system is offering you. Yes, that's just it. For some people, it will take them some time to get to that point. But for that person that is really wanting something different, that is trying to define themselves, it's fine if you feel you are not an ungrateful person for wanting more freedom. You have just grown. And that is normal. If you are not growing, then you are not living. That's just the truth. If you are just sitting down where you are and you think you're comfortable and you're okay there and there's nothing, I mean, for some people it's fine, but for some of us just want more. And the reason we're not exploring that more is because we are worried that we will be classed as ungrateful. I'm just here to break that myth. No, it is not true. You are not an ungrateful person. You are just a person that has outgrown where you currently are, and that is fine. All right. Now, the third reason why people the third reason why people would not ordinarily, explore other things because of their professions is simply because it really stems. It's something I call the parent conflict or the manager stroke parent conflict. And what does this simply mean? It simply means that there is tension between, that responsible professional who owes their time to their job. Sorry, let me just mute this thing. Who owns their time, who thinks they owe their time to their job, and the responsible parent who think that they owe their time or who owes their time to the family. Now, this is where there's a conflict. Which of this responsibility is truly greater? Yes. And if you are in this conundrum, if you're experiencing this conundrum, it's real. It is a real conundrum. And it is part of the reason why some people do not step out or step out to figure out who they are, figure out their identity. So, as I said, there is the parent conflict, parent stroke manager stroke professional stroke, parent manager conflict, where you're torn between giving your time to your job or giving your time to your family. So that is a conflict, and that really bothers, excuse me, that really worries people. So I mean, this is something that we really need to kind of like explore. When I say explore, I mean you check yourself. I'm sure as a professional or as someone that has a day job, you are being guilty, you feel guilty or for exploring more, and you really shouldn't feel guilty because it just means if you're getting that nudge within you, if you know in your heart of hearts that you want to explore more, it doesn't mean that you do not appreciate your job. It just means that you have outgrown that job. Yeah, one would argue you should find another job, and people have done that, but they still don't find that innermost satisfaction, right? They don't find that innermost satisfaction. So finding another job is not necessarily going to make you feel better. It's just it might make you feel better temporarily, but again, you go back to that cycle. And that is why there is a need for you to clarify or get that clarity on what it is that you really want to do and how you and who you are as a person. So the next thing, is the real risk. Just to talk about is the true risk is that relying 100% on one employer. Hey, it is a big risk. I think that is the 100% risk, and many people are beginning to realize that, but some people still don't realize it, and it will come as a shocker to them when things happen. Because what I can tell you for free is that the society is changing. from what we used to know it before to something different. And I don't even know how it is going to pan out, because we do not know the way the things are advancing so quickly. It is very, very obvious if you look around you that what you see today is not what you will see in the next 5 years. So if you want to be relying on a job 100%, you actually are putting yourself at risk. And I think that for any individual, for any person, whether you have a family or not, the most responsible thing that you can do is to build a system. Yes, build a leveraged backup system, because the way the world is moving now, it is actually quite risky to have just one source of income. It is a risk now. Before, you would argue it's not a risk, but now, if you're having one source of income, it is a risk. I genuinely believe that it's a risk. And I don't think it's a risk. I think it would be irresponsible of anyone to not have an alternative source of income. Okay. So, and basically, building a resilient system for you, for your family, is actually responsibility. It's financial responsibility. And it doesn't mean that you are rebelling against your career. No, absolutely not. You are not rebelling. No, because remember earlier I talked about how people feel like if they explore something else outside of their career, they might come across as ungrateful. And the truth is, you are not ungrateful. So being responsible or trying to be financially responsible is not rebellion. Don't ever think that that is what it is. It is not rebellion. It is making sure that your family is resilient and they are leveraging a system that is resilient. Is very vital. Okay, so it's very, very vital. Right, so it's been a day, it's been a long day. Now, income with integrity, right? Integrity means two things. It means two things for me with respect to my income, because remember, I'm talking about how I started exploring digital income. The moment I had this understanding, it was a game changer for me. And when I say it was a game changer, I mean that having this understanding about the fact that I'm not an ungrateful person, I'm not rebelling against my career, I'm just trying to be responsible, it helped me to explore other sources of income. And this was why I decided to look into our business model, because it aligns with my value. It's genuine, right? It's not just a quick come and buy and go. No. It's a sustainable one and it's scalable. So it doesn't even really demand, your job is asking you for 40, 50 hours of your time. My business doesn't, it doesn't demand that much of my time. And that is the integrity, that I come with, right? And that is what I saw that allowed me to explore and dive into this digital business model. Okay, because what I again, leveraging is the key in this present generation. It's about leveraging in this present time. Maybe 20 years ago, you would have to start from scratch, building everything by yourself, building all the blocks that you need to make your business successful. But in 2025, it is not really necessary. No, you don't have to do that. You can leverage. And that's the beauty of our online business model. It is leverage, you're leveraging, okay? And that's one of the reasons why I chose it, because when I looked at the model, I saw that it was scalable. I saw that it was not something that, I would do today and get returns tomorrow, because whatever you can do that quick is not ethical, probably most likely. Because if it was ethical, or if that is the way people make money, why are we not doing the same with our job? Why are we not? Why haven't we all become millionaires with our day job? Right? We've worked for so long, and yet we are still not yet there. Okay, so you want something that is, that has genuine value. And that is exactly what I saw. Now, what I also want to say to you is this: leverage is ethical, and I've said it earlier in the last minute that earning money without your direct time is an ethical thing. It's just you being smart. It's you leverage, it's you being smart. So the world has evolved such that there are now smarter ways of earning. Okay, smarter ways just by leveraging on a smart system. So just like you use leverage in your professional life every day, like you leverage where you automate, where you generate policies, you apply the same high level thinking to your personal finance. That's just it. In your day job, for example, you delegate, you automate where possible, you come up with policies. That's leveraging, isn't it? Or are you going to do everything by yourself? Absolutely not. If it was only a one-man show, ah then there will be no job for people. So you are leveraging in your profession. So why can't you apply that same high level thinking? Because for you to leverage, you have to be thinking about systems. And this is why when I come out live, sometimes I try to bring it down to earth so that people will understand that it is something we're already doing. It's just that you don't know it's called leveraging. Leveraging is just putting systems and blocks in place to allow the smooth running of a process. Okay, like your GP surgery, you go there, you visit your GP. You Before you go there, you don't just walk in there and get seen. Please, if there's a surgery like that, I want to know that surgery. For those of us in the UK, drop a comment. I want to know that surgery. You first of all have to book an appointment. They will tell you, okay, and for you to book an appointment, you make a call or you go online, you fill a form. They ask you a few questions so that they can understand who you need to see and understand the urgency of your visit. Okay? And then you get an appointment at a particular time. And then you then go into the surgery, and at that time, you see the doctor. It's the same thing with honestly, I don't know how to explain it to everyone again. That is the leverage. You are leveraging on the system to see a doctor. There's a system in place. You can't just walk in to go see a GP. You have to put things in place. And this is something we do in our daily lives. But now we are doing it more smarter on the online space because we are all high level thinkers. We are professionals and we know we just need to work a bit more smarter and be more receptive to change. Okay, because change is coming, change is happening. The question is, are you going to accept that change or are you going to fight it? And think about the impact. If you fight it, where will you be? If you accept it, where will you be? You will be somewhere in both scenarios, but is it in alignment with your goals? Is it in alignment with your dreams? Okay, so now look, one thing I just want to kind of like say to us is this. Permission is not going to be given to you. It's not given by your employer or by your peers. You are the only one that gives yourself permission. Trust me. You are the one that gives yourself permission to get married. You are the one that gives yourself permission to have children. You are the one that gives yourself permission to change job. You are the one that gives yourself permission to even eat. You can decide, I'm hungry, but I'm not eating. Yeah, you can make that decision, but you give yourself permission to do all of your usual activities or your day-to-day activities. So those things you think just come naturally. No, it is you giving yourself permission to do those things. So permission, you have to permit yourself to grow. You have to permit yourself to explore. You have to permit yourself to, do things for yourself. Okay, until you give yourself that permission, there's nothing that's going to happen. You're just going to be where you are. So permission comes from you, not from anyone else. Give yourself permission to explore. Give yourself permission to try new things. Give yourself permission to develop yourself. Give yourself permission to be responsible with your finances. Give yourself permission. Whatever it is, the permission comes from you. Okay, so all I'm just going to say is this. You do not have to feel guilty for exploring other sources of income. No, you do not, because it is not irresponsible. It is not ungratefulness. It is basically that you are outgrowing where you are right now. You have outgrown your capacity has expanded in summary, and you just want to be more responsible. You just want to be more you just want to be more responsible with your personal finance. You just want to take ownership of your life. You want to do something different, and you are allowed to do that. You are allowed to do that. Okay. So, right now, I found a system that has allowed me to build an income stream using my knowledge. So your knowledge is not a waste. My knowledge and on my own time budget. Remember, yesterday I talked about non-negotiable time planning. And honestly, people wonder, how do you work and still do this? Yes, because I have a non-negotiable time. There's a time that I've allocated to do something for myself, to work on my business, and it's not, I don't negotiate it with anyone. And that is how people do it. Okay, that's how you do it. Because for me, it is my personal goal. It is my goal to impact one family, so it impacts generations, one family at a time. So for every person that I work with, in my mind, I am not just working with a person to help them grow, I am helping their generations to come to grow as well. And for me, that is my purpose. Because as I said, I've sat down, I've had a reflection, and I know that that is the purpose that I'm here for, to be an impact to people's lives. Okay, I don't know what it is for you, but I know that with my business, I have that opportunity to create that impact that I'm looking forward to. Okay, so for example, my mentees, one of my mentees, she reached a very large milestone. Oh my God, I'm such a proud mentee, somebody that my business partner that I'm working with, we've been working together for almost a year now. I've been helping her, supporting her, guiding her on her journey, and she's progressing. And she's not the only one. Everybody that is working under me, they are progressing. And what gives me personal fulfillment, what gives me satisfaction, what gives me the most joy, what makes me wake up every day and focus on my business is the impact that I have on her. Because not only am I helping her, I'm helping her future generations. I'm helping her grandchildren. I'm helping her great grandchildren. I want an impact that is long lasting. Okay. That is my purpose. So, what is it for you? How is it for you? What is your personal goal? What is your identity? Day one, we talk about discovering yourself beyond your identity. Day two, we talked about planning with purpose. Day three, we talked about non-negotiable time budget. And now I'm talking to you about how I started my own digital business without the professional gate, because I gave myself permission. So I'm encouraging you today to give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to grow. Okay. So tomorrow, we are going to be looking at the myth of the secure job, right? Is any job truly secure? That's a question I'm going to leave for you to respond to, but we'll be talking about it tomorrow. And I'd like you, whenever you watch the video, for those that are passing by, thank you. For those that will catch the replay later, thank you. When you watch this live, I'd like you to drop an emoji that represents letting go of the guilt. Something that will tell me that you are actually letting go of the guilt. Because trust me, many people feel guilty. I did feel guilty in the beginning, but I now do not feel guilty for being responsible for my finances. No, I don't feel guilty for it at all. It doesn't stop me from carrying out my day job. I'm happy with it, but I'm also trying to be financially responsible for my family, and not just for myself, for other people. I'm trying to help other people on this journey and help my generations to come. Okay. So I'd like you to drop in the comment section an emoji that represents letting go of the guilt. I'd like you to do that just so that I know that you're now letting go of that professional guilt. You do not need to feel guilty for wanting more. No, you do not. Okay. So um I'm gently coming up. Somebody. Well, thank you so much for joining. Whoever is there, let me know in the comment section where you're watching from or where you're joining from. I would appreciate that. Or I'm hoping that this is of value to you. So now, if you are ready, maybe you have been thinking about it for some time now and you're not sure what to do, or you don't know how to go about it, you might want to come and look at our own system, to come and see our own leverage system that solves, this time/money problem, right? The information is available right now. You can see it on my website there. You are on my page. You can go on my page and get my number. My website is there. There's so much. There are several ways to reach me. So, do that right now. Give me a follow and make sure that you are with me tomorrow, because tomorrow's topic is the most controversial topic of the week. It is indeed. Not many people will agree that a job is no longer secure. But yeah, we'll see. We'll have that conversation. And I'd like you to engage. If you want to join me, do come along and join me. I'll be waiting for you in the comment section. All right. So I'm going to end meet the life for today. And I hope that this inspires you. I hope it encourages you. I hope it gives you something to think about, really, because we really should be getting clarity on what it is that we are doing. Who are we? Who we are? Be outside of our title. It's enough of being identified with our title. Let's stop it. You are unique. You are special. You are an individual. Before the title, you are a person. I see titles as costumes, because right now I'm not in my professional capacity. So that's, I've dropped that costume, is out. I'm now here as a different person. So that is what a title is. But does that title make me who I am? No, it is not me. It is just a persona. Okay. So please reflect. Let's use November to gain clarity. It's very vital. As I said previously, I do not start my new year in the new year. I start my new year around about this time. And what that means is the first time I begin to what's the word? Is it reflect and plan and do tests, do some exercises, and put down some goals and actions for myself. And one thing I have done is this clarity thing, and it was really powerful for me getting that clarity. And that's why I decided to share with you, my fellow people out there that are professionals like myself and are struggling, because I've spoken to a lot of people. Honestly, people don't even know what they want. They don't know who they are outside of their title. And it's so heartbreaking, because the life is just not like that. You should know, you should have fun. You should be meeting your needs. You should be working or leveraging on system that serves you, not you, the other way around. Yeah. It should be both ways. But right now is one way. So hopefully this inspires you. Stay with me on this journey, please. And I am hoping that you would gain clarity about your identity and every other thing else by the end of it all. So thank you very much for joining, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.